When my oldest son was 3 years old, he fell down this rope ladder on a playground. He cried and I checked him over and he seemed fine. But that night, when I put his arm through his pajama sleeve, he said, "Ugh," and I told my husband, "I think Cameron broke his arm." My husband kind of blew it off and said, "Oh, I've broken my wrist a lot of times in football and I didn't even get a cast." Well, after 3 days of watching my little boy hurt when I twisted his arm to go through a sleeve, I finally told my husband I was gonna take him to the ER and get an x-ray to find out for sure. And it was broken and he needed a cast. Not my proudest mom moment. My point being, x-rays help us know for sure if there is health or a condition going on. I'm even guilty as a hygienist of secretly hoping a patient has some sort of dental disease that would show up on a film so I can justify taking the film. That's horrible. We can always justify taking the films depending on the patient's risk assessment so that we can give them a diagnosis of health. That's good news. We wouldn't be able to do that otherwise. My point is, have a firm protocol of when and what type of x-rays to take, and then be flexible on how you proceed. When I say flexible, do what you need to do to get the films you need, to find out what the patient needs, if anything. So to help you get what you need in the form of x-rays, here are 5 steps. Step 1, know the ADA and FDA standard of care and the doctor's desired protocol. We have a copy of the downloadable form with what the ADA has said and what they have recommended for adults and children for whether they are a new patient or a recall patient. To make navigating the ADA and x-ray regimen chart more simple for you, I'm just going to tell you what I've found with my clients, the most often typical x-ray regimen for a recall patient that doctors usually prescribe. A recall patient with a high risk of caries, doctors usually prescribe 4 bite wings every 6 to 12 months, and as little as every 12 to 24 months for lower risk individuals. I have many clients who take anterior PAs, 3 maxillary and 1 mandibular, once a year. They do this opposite of the bite wing visit so the insurance doesn't think that they're doing a full mouth series. If you take 4 bite wings and 3 PAs the same day, often an insurance company will count it as a full mouth x-ray, and then you miss out on getting the proper films when you need a full mouth x-ray. If you think taking anterior PAs is unnecessary, I challenge you to do it for 6 months like I do with all my clients, and you, like the others, will be shocked at what you have been missing with your naked eye. I have found for a full mouth series and a pano, most practices will start out with panos at age 8 and then take them again at age 13 and 18 and 23. Usually because during the patient's younger years, they want to see the development of the teeth and bones and the wisdom teeth. Then most switch to a full mouth series as many adult patients develop periodontal problems and they want to watch the crest of bone in more detail. Some alternate a full mouth series and panos throughout the years in adulthood. Step 2, like every other service, build value and make it personal. Tell your patients why they, as an individual, need these films. It could be that it's just been too long and you need to see the bone and nerve and jaw to make sure they're healthy, or that we can't give you a diagnosis of health without them, or that it's the only way we can see between your teeth. Check the bone and the nerves. Then mention that the benefits far outweigh the risks of negative side effects of not taking them, which brings us to step 3. You also need a good handle on how much radiation is in a dental x-ray so you can help those patients who are leery of exposure. By putting radiation exposure into the proper perspective for them, they will see it as a very low, and the benefits do far outweigh any worries they might have. The ADA says this: radiation exposure associated with dentistry represents a minor contribution to the total exposure from all sources, including natural and man-made, unquote. You can find an easy visual aid comparing doses everyday radiation in our free downloadable section. For example, the American Nuclear Society says that the average radiation level per person per year is 620 millirems. The safe allowable dose for a nuclear plant worker or those exposed to radiation in their work is 5,000 millirems per year. Different exposures from environmental sources are just being 2 hours in a plane will give you 1 millirem of radiation. If you live in a stone or adobe home, 7 millirems per year. You smoke 1 pack of cigarettes every day equals 36 millirems per year. 1 chest CT scan is 700 millirems per year. A whole body CT scan is 1,000. 1 bite wing x-ray equals 0.5 millirems, and that's with F-speed film, not digital. Share this information, print it out, laminate it, and send it out as an email blast to your patients so they are educated. Step 4, deal with objections with the words feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. Other patients have felt the same way and had the same concerns you had. But what we have found is, and then share a real life experience that you've had in your practice where you've caught a diagnosis that you wouldn't otherwise have caught if you weren't taking an x-ray. Step 5, be firm in principle and then flexible on procedure. Have a fee, but be flexible and get the films you need, even if you need to chalk it up to charity. I also recommend an x-ray refusal form. It won't hold up in court, but it might prevent a patient from going ahead with a lawsuit knowing that you can prove to them that they were the ones who made the choice not to get the x-rays. People forget a lot of our conversations. Their own signature often cures amnesia. I have found that just by reviewing your team's protocol and helping patients understand your need to get the proper films, practices will increase x-ray production up to $25,000 per year. Most of this is just getting the proper full mouth series and panels and anterior PAs more often. That's it, guys. If you have any questions about x-rays, shoot me an email.